Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stiletsy, and today I got for you a very special presentation of the Age of Empires 3 Wars of Liberty patch 1.1.1. Yeah, a new patch for the Great War Age. So I wanted to go over with you today some really important stuff regarding this patch. In particular, the most signature part of this patch, that being new technologies coming to Great War Age. And maybe one or two other things too. So, a lot to be seen today. Let's get started in this game that I set up. We can go over it very quickly. And you can see all the wonderful text that you can now use with some explanation behind them. That you can do in Great War Age now. As you know before, there were no technologies in Great War Age. It was basically just a bunch of units, but the devs were able to add their first wave of text to the buildings, which is really good because now it feels a little bit more complete. So to get the Great War Age, we're going to do some stuff here. I'm going to do a bit of cheat coding here because we don't want to sit here for like half a year trying to do that. And then we're going to do speed always wins so we can move stuff through stuff pretty quickly. Right, we don't want to sit here too long waiting for this stuff to queue up. Alright, so let's get a bunch of trucks going. A whole convoy of trucks. The more trucks the merrier, right? So I'm just going to put down a bunch of supply depots to start out here. How many are we going to need? I don't know, like maybe 4. I'll put one over here on the coast. Yeah. So I guess we could start by going through all of these things right away. I'll go one more, whole lot of more, because I know these technologies are like really expensive. Next thing we need to do is get up all of these oil rigs at this point, so we can start trickling all that oil, because we're going to need that too for some of these technologies, and maybe to make a couple units. I'm going to try to get as many as I can with this. Put one here. How many more can I get reasonably? I can put one over here, right? And could I put one maybe over... Yeah, I don't have enough space for number. Why don't I just put one over here or something? I don't know. Yeah. That should be a good enough distance, right? Yeah. I'm going to put down the shipyard right over here. I'm going to put down the field barracks. Put down the assembly line, put down a airfield, because these are the important ones we need to use. Yeah, yep, and then my last oil rig will go somewhere over here. Yep. Alright, so let's start with the supply depot. Supply depot, we have a good number of technologies that we can look at right away. And why don't I put a wall down too, to showcase this. Get the technology, why not? So first technology is barbed wire. Walls hit points increased. It actually increases the hit points of the walls by 200%. Yeah, it basically triples the hit points on walls. This is a pretty good technology, especially if you're using a lot of walls on the map in a free-for-all, because it just makes you that harder to crack into your base with. We can see right here how effective it is. Yeah, look at how good those hit points are now. I guess it didn't really double it, it just sort of... Yeah, it made like 6,000. Oh yeah, it did double it because the starting wall hit points is like 2,000 or something, right? So yeah, it did double it. It did triple it, yeah. Okay. So, after that, we got another technology here called baton mixers for construction. Basically, bunkers are built instantly. Yeah. As you know, bunkers are the defensive building for the Great War Age. I'll just build one right now and show you what the build time usually is for this. So yeah, it happens like that. It's going to be a bit hard to show you here, but after you're sending this technology, you basically can build them pretty much instantaneously. I don't know. Why isn't it building? That's weird. Just build a bunch of bunkers, yeah. Yeah, you could just build a bunch of these, I suppose. What's going on here? I'm just gonna put some more trucks down, like, get this guy to leave. Yeah, for some reason this one doesn't want to build anything, which I don't completely understand why. As you can see, bunkers can basically provide a decent defense all by themselves for the most part, yeah. Yeah, look at all these, like, Spanish units just struggling to get through here because of these bunkers. These things are a really good turtling tool in the Great War Age. So if you're running into trouble, just build a bunch of bunkers and you should be able to defend yourself pretty well. Yeah. That being said, let's try to, move on to the... Actually, I'll put a supply depot here, so I can put some stuff there if needed. Looks like we're already going to need another field barracks. Yeah, so the next technology is called reinforced concrete. How convenient. Bunkers have more hit points. But apparently it says buildings changes hit points by 50%, so does it affect the buildings as well, perhaps? Yeah, it does. It does affect all buildings. That's really good. Now, basically, your base becomes really hard to crack at this point, because I can imagine it also affects the walls as well. So yeah, your base becomes super duper tanky from attacks from generic units like this. You know, volunteers, cavalry, they have a real time getting into your base with that, which should be really convenient for you to defend with. I'll get some bills. We can put up some like regular towers too, can't we? Yeah. Put some extra. We'll put some regular outposts up as well, just to help in the defense of the area. Yeah. This should basically keep his artillery out of the base for the most part. Yeah, yeah. Look at how effective this duo is between the outpost and the yeah, it basically makes you impenetrable for the most part. But I have a feeling we're going to have to make some stuff pretty soon here, so I might just do that to keep him away for a bit. Yeah, I'm probably just going to make it. The problem with this civ, of course, these Juanito civs is they don't get any, like, immigration technology, so you don't start out with that nifty 1K population or whatever, so it's a bit tricky. Getting ahead with them. Kind of just wonder why. Oh yeah, because he got the maximum guns from his home city. Yeah, that's right. This AI is pretty persistent. I'm just gonna kill this last one. Then we can move on and build some houses. Because I didn't even think about putting some castles down when I was doing this. So we're gonna do that as well. Alright. Let's get some villas out, put down some houses in case we need a bunch of stuff in a... make a bunch of stuff in a pinch. Yeah, it should be good for now. Definitely. Okay, so next technology is binoculars. Reveals the line of sight of all enemy oil rigs. So if your opponent starts building oil rigs in the Great War Age, this technology will actually grant you some line of sight that they see, acting almost as like a very cheap version of spies, except it only reveals certain areas, right? Only the areas they put their oil rigs down, which thankfully happens to usually be in their base, right? These oil rigs are really essential buildings, so you're really never going to build them outside of your base for the most part. Yeah, if you don't do a lot of scouting, this can be pretty good. We'll see if it actually does anything. I don't think they built any oil rigs just yet, so good chance of why we don't see anything yet. Just gonna do another cheat code because we need some defense here really badly. Yeah, let's just get a bunch of these. Yeah, if like I make a million field guns, he's just gonna get like squabbered at spree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just put them. Yeah, look, they're totally helpless. Well, they can't do a thing. Absolutely useless. One of those I have is oh, this is the AI. The AI put his bird here too. That's interesting. Yeah, see, when in trouble, just spam a bunch of field guns and you'll be perfectly safe. Alright, so next technology, radio. So what radio does is it basically allows shipments to come out instantly. Shipments arrive instantly, improves their train time by 65%, which is basically instant, so we can totally do that. Yeah, thankfully we have lots of decks that have units in them, so we could just do this. See how quick that was? It like came out instantaneously. Like, yeah. I know we have speed always wins on, but I've tested it before and it does come out instantly. That's really good for Latin American and nation-state decks in particular that have a lot of infinite unit shipments in them. So as you're fighting with like your tanks, your soldiers, if you need some support units like the Francotiradores like this, you can send them in. Which, by the way, is a non-Great War Age change. Most of the skirmishers that are mounted in the game, like the Francotiradores, the Cacador Matados, all those, they are now one population units and had their stats adjusted accordingly. Yeah, I guess some people felt like having them as 2-pop units made them kind of hard to reach in the game, so it'd be much better to have them be like really tough 1-pop units instead, so that they can actually be utilized in most situations. And I think it's pretty good. I actually did a match with those Francotiradores last night with the 1-pop, and it worked pretty well. I mean, you could go toe-to-toe with enemy skirmishers using them, and it's pretty useful overall, I would say. Next technology is pasteurization. This basically has the same effects as the refrigeration card. So not only does it improve the gather rate of mills, it also improves the gather rate of all food resources. So hunts, berries, herdables, any type of food that your villagers gather, this will improve it. It's really a nice technology because it gives you an even bigger edge in economy than you get in the Imperial Age with the final food gathering technology. So we just researched that. Food gathering rate's probably going to be super right now. We'll try to build ourselves a hacienda here and see how it goes. Assuming the AI lets us in there, of course. The AI is just going to keep battering in. The AI just doesn't learn, right? He knows that we're going to keep hammering him with these artillery shells. He just keeps coming in. Absolutely insane, I would say. I think yep, see, this is the gather rate of the food. Sped up a little bit, obviously, but you can definitely tell a little bit that the pasteurization does help with that quite a bit. And then for the wood, there's chainsaw, which basically acts the same as, I think, exotic hardwoods from the home city, so it increases your wood gathering rate even more. Notice how it also costs a bit of oil. Some of these technologies do cost oil as well, so you're going to have to make sure you get your oil rigs up as quick as possible when you hit the Great War Age. You can try to do a bit of chopping right now, see how that looks. Yeah, you can notice a bit of a difference in the wood chopping, even with the speed always wins on it. You can tell it's pretty good, gathering rate wise. And then we get this final tech here called Victory Gardens. Triples the passive experience trickle. So you know the experience trickle you get throughout the game? As the game's progressing, that gradually moves you towards your shipment. Well, this basically triples it, and it adds a 4.0 XP trickle to you. Just to show you how significant that is. You notice notice how the experience points are going up a lot quicker than they were before. Yeah, it makes a pretty good difference, especially earlier on. But as you can tell at this point, we got so many shipments at this point that probably doesn't look too significant, but it definitely will make a difference overall. So just definitely get that when you can. Yep, and then we can move on to the field barracks now. We'll make some soldiers to demonstrate this. So yeah, we got a bunch of soldiers here, right? A bunch of Great War Age soldiers. Just make a bunch of them, as many as we can. Yeah, literally at a grind there because they have soldiers of their own. Oh, and they actually research the technologies as well. This is really cool. It looks like even the AI knows to research the Great War Age technologies themselves. That's a good to know, actually. It doesn't feel like the AI is just totally helpless. They'll actually tech in as well. So first technology that we need to go over. I'm gonna need some resources for it though. do that. Alright, so first technology, anti-tank rifles. This basically gives your soldiers a multiplier against artillery, which you see mine don't have, but once you click into it, voila! Basically does 100 damage versus artillery in range, and about 80 in melee. This is pretty good, because it means you can actually fight tanks, armored cars, or any earlier game artillery with pretty good precision at this point. And also you get vitamins, and with vitamins you can improve your soldiers' hit points by about 30%. Pretty expensive, you can see. So yeah, a lot of these Great Warrior technologies are expensive, so make sure you're stockpiling your resources for them. And once we do that, our soldiers get about 575 on hit points for their infantry. I think Spain's were a little bit higher because they actually sent a card to improve their infantry's hit points a little bit, so that might explain that slightly. Alright, and then there's this final technology while we're going over it called First Aid Bag. The Field Medic, this healing unit here, now can heal even faster. So let's see how good that is. Move these forward. I'll put some field max in the back over here. Very talented doctors. I'm assuming they're gonna like heal like super. Yep. See them? They're literally healing instantly. Yeah, they're healing like instantaneously now. I don't know if that's the speed always wins or if that's like the technology working by itself. That was like a really quick heal. Yeah, that's a really quick heal. And I can imagine the same is true with their field hospitals as well that they can construct. Oh, and then they get the mass heal ability. Yep, that's right. So these are like really good doctors. You know, definitely worth the co-pays. They definitely heal you up super quickly. Yep, whoop. Instant heal. Yep. Definitely a powerful technology if you can heal that quickly. Because that means if you're like fighting enemies in waves, you can literally heal up your soldiers on the front line so you could save a bit on resources with making more of them. Which is pretty useful. Let's try to look at some of these shipyard technologies now. So we got a couple here. We got hydrophone, reveals all enemy docks and shipyards. Didn't do anything, so I don't know if that's functional or not. Hopefully, if not, they fix that. But if that once that does work, that's a pretty good effect because it gives you line of sight of all the enemy's docks, and you can basically see what their base looks like if it's a coastal one. And then you got this technology here. Naval mines deal increased damage. You just gotta love how I have to use a whole lot of love every time I want to research more technologies in this. It's crazy. Let's see what the stats normally are on the aquatic mines here. So normally it's about 700 crush damage with 5 splash. But once we get this technology, how much is it then? Oh, then it becomes 875. So yeah, that's a big jump. You know, that'll definitely do even more damage than it normally does. And probably enough to instantly kill any of the light ships that the enemy might be making still, like avisos, schooners. Yeah, those should basically die pretty quickly. And then we got one final one here, sonar. Ships gain additional line of sight, about 15 line of sight. That is really big. Oh yeah, look at how much you can see ahead now with these boats now. It's pretty insane. Yeah, pretty insane, I would say. What you can do with that. And then we got some more technologies here for the assembly line. I'll put some tanks down to demonstrate this. We already got some field artillery as well, so we could do that. Why don't we make an armored car or two and some machine guns? Yeah, okay. So, first technology here is related to the tanks. It's called Caterpillar Track. Tanks move faster. But by how much, we'll see. You do that. So it looks like it's a very microscopic change. But I think it does like at a very tight level. Maybe they might have to increase it a little bit to make it more noticeable, but you get the idea. Basically, your tanks move pretty fast now, what they're supposed to, and they can reach the front lines a lot quicker. Then you have stainless steel, and I guess we can make some of our airships as well at this point, and just look at the stats, right? So here's our airships. We got the bomber, the Zeppelin, and then the fighter plane. I just want to get an idea of what the hit points are at this point. Basically, and then we can make a dreadnought too, make a sub, trawler, yeah. Get all these boats. I just love how this AI just keeps like thinking it can actually get in here. It just keeps getting pummeled. Yeah, kind of funny how this AI really does not care how much men they're losing. Yeah, but anyways, let's go back to this technology, stainless steel. Basically, any unit that you make from the assembly line, the shipyard, or the airfield gains 15% additional hit points. This is a really good tech because it affects a lot, most of your Grey Warriors roster, except the soldiers, the medics, of course, and then any other field barracks units that you have. So this basically gives you a pretty big edge. We'll get it right now. Showcase what the stats improvement really looks like. Yep, you can already tell the tanks, the armored cars, the field guns, the ships, Zeppelins. Oh yeah, you can totally notice in the stats improvement in these for the most part. So yeah, it does make quite a bit of a difference on most of your fronts. And then we got this final one here called shrapnel shells. You know, shrapnel shells it basically gives your field guns an additional splash. So if we research this, now they get a splash of about 5, which makes them even scarier to deal with than before. Yeah. And notice how the anti-tank guns on these soldiers are actually allowing them to make some good gains on my field guns, so I actually have to train some more to even deal with that. That was always a complaint before by a lot of people. That Grey War Age technology was just really powerful and there was no effective counter to it. So with the anti-tank guns that you could give to the soldiers, now they actually do act as counters to these cannons when used properly. Yeah, even these tanks are being countered by the soldiers, so I have to definitely be careful and make sure I'm constantly pumping in stuff to attack with. I think with the one additional splash from the shrapnel, though, it should be a little bit easier to deal with. I hope. I don't want to sit here all day having to shoot off waves at these soldiers. And then try to do a bit of micro here to make sure I can hit them. Hit the ones in the back, hit some in the middle, you know. Spray them as much as I can, and then I can put some tanks in the front of them, too. Yeah. Put these over here. Alright. So that's the end of the assembly line, and we just have to go over the airfield now. Now, the airfield has quite a lot of technologies, almost as much as the command center. So we're going to have to go through those one by one. First, I already need to use the code again. This is insane, I just have to keep doing it. Imagine how long this takes in a realistic game with your economy to do. Pretty insane. So, aerobatics, fighter planes speed increased by 1. As you know, the fighter planes are supposed to be really fast, and they are used to fight bombers as well as the Zeppelins, right? They only fight air units, so once we get this technology, now they move at a speed of 11. Yeah, look how quick they fly. You know, they're very fast. They definitely fly a lot faster than any sort of stuff you have on the ground, which gives them a really nice edge of reaching across the map real quickly and hitting people's planes with them. Then we get attack aircraft, bomber, aircraft damage against buildings increase. So basically that just means that the bomber gains a multiplier against buildings, essentially doubling its stats against the buildings. Yep, 2x against this, so really it's doing 930 damage to buildings. Yeah, just the buildings. And then likewise there's another technology, the incendiary bombs, which adds a similar multiplier against ships. So essentially when these both for research, your bombs will do 930 damage to both ships and buildings, the two structures that your bombers can actually attack. They can't attack any other units, right? Not infantry, not artillery, just the buildings and ships. To be able to do complete damage to both, you have to research those two technologies to do so. And then the next technology would be this one, synchronization gear, fighter aircraft rate of fire increase. So the fighter planes shoot even faster than they did before, which is really helpful. And boy, am I going to need machine guns to fight this mess off? Maybe. I'll add some in. See if it helps out a bit. Yeah, because the machine guns luckily shoot very quickly, so we might be able to use some of those too. Put some field guns in as well. Alright, perfect. Now we got two more technologies to go over. Drones. Airfield units reward no bounty to the enemy. So what does that mean exactly? Basically all these air units, right? They no longer give the enemy experience points when they actually down them. So if we see this right here, drones, look at the, yep, notice, well, the kill XP on this is still there, but how about the bombers? It still shows it, but is it still in effect? Maybe it has some weird effect on that to make it happen. At least it's showing it's still in the UI, but maybe they'll fix that. And this is probably going to be one of your more important technologies here for the airfield is air traffic control. Fighter and bomber limit increased, so you can make 2 additional fighters and you can make 1 additional bomber. If we do that, notice here you can have a total of 6 fighters, 3 bombers, and then you still have to have 1 Zeppelin. Basically increasing the size of your Air Force overall. And there we have it. Those are all the Great War Age technologies. Plain and simple. So hopefully you enjoyed that, you know. I had fun giving them to you. Yep, put these here. Yeah, so definitely think you're going to enjoy all these technologies a lot. I can't even do the cheat code anymore. It's really insane. I keep typoing it too. It's crazy. Double this, double that. There we go. I'm just gonna make a bunch of these and try to pull them off. Now these can do pretty good because these are not artillery and they do a lot of crush damage. I think we're gonna probably resign very soon at this point. Because I've shown everything I had to, so yeah. Just beat these guys back for the last final time. Perfect. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed all that fun. I certainly did. There was a lot of technologies to go over, honestly. But yeah. See you in the next Great War Age that we do together, or see you in the next Great War Age match that I do. Signing off now. See you next time, and hopefully we get even more technologies in the next patch. I definitely like these ones quite a bit.